Welcome to another episode of the Raising a Rapper podcast. I'm your host, Ventia McCollum, mother of rapper Little Yachty. I'm so excited today about the podcast because I have an amazing woman here today that I can't wait for you guys to meet. And she came all the way from my neck of the woods, which is the Midwest, by way of LA, actually, to talk to us today. My guest today is Karlissa Saffold, mother of rapper Blueface. Welcome to the Raising a Rapper podcast, Karlissa. So excited to have you with us today in this pandemic in my home. It's such a blessing to have you. Let's just get down to it. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with you and your beautiful face and your handsome son. Where did he get the name Blueface?
I don't know where or when, but when he told me that was his rap name, he had actually got it like tattooed on his face. So I didn't even have a chance to like, oh, okay. Right. I was like just angry. The Blueface was just like, are you serious? But when I thought back about it, he used to have such a love for money. He would literally have anxiety if he couldn't like go to school or daycare, literally, with at least $1 or a $5 bill, whatever you had, just I have it in my pocket. He literally had a love for money that we had to like counsel at a very early age. Don't take it out of people's purses. Right. Don't go in my friend's purse. Don't go in your grandma's purse. You went in your grandma's purse again.
What's your actual role in his career?
I am his conscience.
Okay.
He started his journey with the rap game after dropping out of college. I got a phone call from his girlfriend's mother, baby mama now, but his girlfriend's mother at the time called and said, well, Jonathan's here. What do you mean he's here? In California here? Yeah, he's here. So not in school. Right. So he and I went back and forth and had words. And, I told him how life was going to be and gave him all of these, you're going to struggle and you're not going to make it. And you're the golden child. You're supposed to handle all these things for your brother when he gets out. Like, we had a plan. Right. There was 3 of us. Right. My daughter who was playing basketball. Okay. He was playing football. I was acting. Okay. We got to make this happen. The statistics for prison reform was just like, your chances of keeping him out was like, so basically, we put that burden on each other. And when he dropped out, it was kind of like we felt like he abandoned the call. Dropped
the ball. Exactly.
Yeah, like, and we always knew because everything he touches, it doesn't matter what it is gold.
Wow.
It's platinum.
Wow.
Like, it's automatic no matter what it is, whether he plays quarterback or whether he plays wide receiver, whatever he does, he's just really, really good at it. So when he dropped the ball, we all kind of felt like she tore her ACL. So the plan is completely
falling apart.
The plan is completely falling apart. So when he dropped out, I put a lot of pressure on him. And I said a lot of bad things. And his response was, I'll meet you at the top.
Okay. Okay.
But that's what I said to his dad when I left him. So
wow.
How do you even know what that means?
Right. But so he's like, I'm not staying in Fayetteville, North Carolina. This is not where it's at. I'm going to LA. Yeah. And we don't always perceive that well. I mean, it was the same with me when Miles said, listen, Mom, they don't like me here and I don't like them. I'm leaving. And I'm like, you're leaving and you're going to do what? When they say they're just leaving, you're like, okay, and so what's the plan? But they know in their hearts and minds what's for them. So he's at home.
He's at
struggling,
home,
trying to make it.
So
he's just in the studio, I guess.
He
trying to make it work.
Like he did with the football. He just he said he went there one day and heard himself on the mic, and that was all she wrote.
And that was all
I'm
she wrote.
doing this now.
But when he left Fayetteville, he didn't leave to come home and be this big star.
Oh, no.
He just knew he didn't want to be there.
No plan.
Okay.
He went home with no plan.
Okay.
So I'm a firm believer in, God directs our path. And Jonathan, even though, people probably like, oh, he's this or he's that, he probably knows the word just as good as I do.
Wow. Because you raised him in the church. You guys are raised in church. Sunday. But you know, the Bible says, what does it say? Grow up a child in the way that they should go and they should never stray. So
that's exactly
get
what
them
I'm
rooted
on to.
And you really you shouldn't have to worry about it. But
I think scripture, he had quoted right back. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's amazing. That's amazing. So he's in LA trying to find his way, because that's what I call it. They kind of go through life trying to find their way.
Right.
And you're back in the Midwest. So he gets in the studio, finds this love for music, and starts recording. Is that what happens?
That's exactly what happened.
And gets this big hit that he didn't even know was going to be a hit. And the next thing you know, you got a star on your hand.
So this is how like what I just said is supposed to be. So I was going through just recently, probably nobody knows this but him, probably like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I was going, we're getting ready to move to make another transition. And I was going through all the paperwork, just, saw his scholarship paper. You get emotional. And I'm looking at it like, oh, scholarship, you did so well. And he did well academically. He swears he didn't do that well. But I'm like, if you passed your SAT with over 1,500.
To get in, right.
And you had to have at least a 2.0 to a 2.5 to match that. You did better than I did.
Right.
But I was looking at that paper and I flipped it over. Now, this is his letter of intent to sign, we get one to colleges. So I made one for myself to keep for keepsake. On the back of it is a rap. See, he's rapping on the back of his college letter.
Wow.
Before he goes to college. So I was like, wow.
That's amazing.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Wow, that's
I sent it to him and he just chuckled.
That is so crazy. Wow. That's amazing. But you just never know. A lot of times they speak things into existence. And even though he probably didn't talk a lot about it, it probably was something that was still stirring on the inside, All
right.
These kids are amazing. You never know. So what, up until this point, okay, so he makes this hit, then he becomes this big sensation. Because I remember the first time I heard it on the radio, I was like, I like this. This all right. So then does he call and say, Mom, I got a record deal. Mom, I'm going to be famous. What was he saying to you?
He was calling a lot for money. And like, he was telling me I was paying the studio. So I was like, well, give me the studio's phone number so I can give them my credit card direct. So I talked to the guy and gave it to him. And he sent me some contract and he's like, oh, look, they have my, my dad's like our notary, our bookworm. So he's like, can you have Grandpa look this over? I had, my father look it over, where people think he's in some kind of crazy thing. No, my father and my father's lawyer, Jonathan, is fine.
Right.
Yeah. He don't need to know because we know that he's fine.
Okay. So he's looking this contract over, and this contract is from a record label. Okay.
Yeah.
And so y'all are like, thumbs up is good.
Right. Well, they made a couple changes to it. Like, we'll do this, or this. But
Awesome. So now he's this big star, and you're his mom, and you're dealing with the women and the fame and the money and the media. I'm sure everybody is kind of familiar with you guys out in the media. What has that been like for you, the fame? What has the journey been like, you as his mom, dealing with the fame? Because have you decided to kind of take a back seat and, like you said, just be mom, the conscience, or do you kind of get in his business?
I realized after that incident that I really had to take a back seat because it's, obviously we're not just dealing with, him playing football.
Right.
Or me, talking to his coaches.
Right.
We're talking about, his liability and his responsibility. And that's his job, and I didn't look at it that way. And I jumped out there like, like we do, I'm going to embarrass you where you show out.
Right.
And that
when they were little.
Yeah, I'm going to do that till you grow.
Right.
I don't care if I'm 50. I'm still going to embarrass you where you show out. So that was my mentality. And if I had it to do over again, obviously I wouldn't disturb his job that way. But I still feel like if you worked at Walmart and you was being disrespectful while I was at Walmart, I would have slapped you.
No matter how old you are.
Yeah. So sometimes I feel, there was definitely a different route that I could have taken. But I was like, I wouldn't have been myself.
Right. Right. But we live and we learn.
I know what's gonna pull you back, and we're gonna do that today.
Right.
I get it.
And
him and his sister have always been like like this. Like if
Two
I didn't
peas in
have
a
the
pod.
$50
Right.
for the quarterback
Right.
lessons, I was getting it from her
Right.
or whoever. You know what I mean? I don't know where she was getting it
Right.
from, but Mama, I got it.
Right.
So, you know, I felt like and sometimes he didn't know a lot of stuff that she did for us or for him.
Because she's a little older.
She's
right?
a little older.
Okay.
And, you know, they get them little boyfriends.
Right.
And, I got an extra $100, Mom. So, you know, and he didn't understand that. So where I felt there, we had some liability to helping, you know, her in a situation.
Right.
He might not have felt so. You know, and then, you know, you get all these people telling you how you're supposed to help. And
exactly.
You got to limit
what you
this
need to
and limit
do.
that.
Right.
Like,
all these people in your ear.
Yeah, you know us. You know we're not finna. Me and her are the type, when he went on tour,
right.
we literally followed the bus from state to state.
In the car.
In the car.
Nice.
Her and I.
Yeah.
And we met them there.
Yeah.
We might have did our own little shopping, but we were on our own leisure time. And it was, for us, it was just, this is what we do. We've been driving back and forth 9-10 hours to the prison. We drive from coast to coast together.
Right.
So we weren't, you know, we're not coming for your money that way. Even though we could have been on flights and doing this, they know we was right in the back of that car.
Right.
So
family. Yeah. Doing family
and
stuff.
I think, you know, he listened probably to people that have family members that are that way and just got that idea in his head, like, oh, everybody's coming for my money. Like, boy, we finna all make some of this money.
Exactly.
So nobody's coming for yours. God.
And that's what I tell a lot of my parents too. Put everybody on payroll. I've been on payroll since day one. I mean, and that's no secret. I left my corporate job to come work for him. I mean, parents need to be compensated. We don't just work for free, and then we have responsibilities. So how has that been handling the media after all that happened? Did it kind of just go away, or is this something that you just kind of learned from and now you know exactly your limits and how far you want to be in the media? Do you still deal with the media?